Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight is brought to you by Suavecito Tequila, the world's smoothest tequila. Make sure you go to the bar and get yourself a shot tonight. And also, Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Let's bring our fighters to the cage. Please welcome Terry Blackwell.
Terry Blackwell coming to the cage, Instigator Fight Team, head instructor of Instigator Fight Team, along with his dad, Rick Blackwell. And I'm excited for this fight because before I joined Strong Style, I joined Instigator Fight Team, and Terry Blackwell was my true first MMA instructor.
Well, that's awesome to hear. Speaking of Instigator and Victory Martial Arts, we should give a shout out to Steve Heinman, the toughest man in MMA, who absolutely knocked out cancer, a very difficult form of cancer. So give a little shout out to Steve Heinman. In the meantime, let's welcome Terry Blackwell to the area. Terry comes in here. Brian, I think you can agree, Terry is an absolute positive tactician in the cage.
Yeah, Terry Blackwell is very well-rounded striker, runs his own fight team. Big opportunity stepping up to fight Torrance Taylor as a veteran.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome his opponent to the cage, Torrance Taylor.
Torrance Taylor coming to the cage, very, very, very experienced veteran, 12-7-1 overall record. Coming and fighting traditionally out of Rising Dragon MMA, but made the switch going into this fight. Been training somewhat with me and others at Strong Style Mixed Martial Arts.
Yeah, Torrance has been around the block. There's no question about it. When you see Torrance Taylor fight, what you're going to see is the craziest. He'll be throwing axe kicks. He'll be throwing spinning back kicks. He'll throw everything in the kitchen sink at you. So he is definitely a very exciting fighter to watch. Very difficult to hold down. But Terry Blackwell, more the tactician. Torrance is going to throw anything he can think at you. And as we take a look at our Tim Lally Chevrolet Tail of the Tape, I'd like to introduce Daniel Strauss. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. So you are currently signed with Bellator. You are up for a world title, but you are technically the NAAFS lightweight champion.
Yes,
so
yes, sir.
What do you think about this? Is he one of these guys, somebody you want to come back to and say, hey, this is my belt?
Well, I mean, definitely with just these two guys being outstanding fighters. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of Torrance Taylor. I've been watching him actually ever since I first started. So I'll be excited to see this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is brought to you by Suavecito Tequila and also Bud Light. 5 rounds for the NAAFS Professional Series Interim Lightweight World Championship title. And now, introducing fighting out of the John P. Lennon red corner, this fighter's record sits with 8 wins and only 1 defeat. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, he weighed in at 153 1/2 pounds. Representing Instigator Fight Team, fighting out of Canton, Ohio, introducing Terry Blackwell. His opponent across the cage on my left, fighting out of the Intimidation Clothing blue corner. His record, 12 wins, 7 defeats, and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 154 1/2 pounds. Representing Rising Dragon MMA and Strong Style Fight Team, fighting out of Cleveland, Ohio. He is the former NAAFS Lightweight World Champion, presenting Torrance the Tyrant Taylor. Your referee is Jerry Poe.
Here we go.
Well,
Terry Blackwell versus Torrance Taylor. Exciting fight coming up.
Absolutely, and this is an interim title bout, so Mr. Strauss still is our champion. Saying this is an interim bout, so still technically you are still the champion. This is for the interim lightweight title, and
nice. Blackwell coming out strong.
Blackwell throws a big overhand right, doesn't connect. Torrence is able to block well.
Torrence using this. I like how he uses his leg kicks. I've always been a fan of how he uses his tie.
Yeah, and it's I don't know if we can call it tie, if we could call, I mean, he just, anything he throws, it's the craziest stuff. Like I said in the intro, guys, we're going to see axe kicks, turning back kicks, all kinds of stuff. Guarantee we'll have a head kick in this first round. It's just crazy, crazy stuff.
Terry Blackwell coming out a little bit more aggressive with his strikes than he thought. In the past, when he fought former teammate of Torrence, Frank Carabello, he caught and countered a little bit more. He's coming out much more aggressive here versus Torrence.
Great point, great point.
I would like to see Torrence use his hands a little bit more, coming forward a little bit more.
That's something, you know, Torrence has been up his strong style a little bit more lately. That's something they've been trying to work with him on, is having some faith in his boxing. He's got outstanding kicks, but he tends to hold back with his strikes and go more feet first. If he can blend that together, it can be more effective.
Nice.
Terry Blackwell is a Taekwondo black belt who's got some extremely sound kicks as well. A little, not as more unorthodox, but good leg and hip power as well.
Nice, spinning back.
Torrence Taylor's wrestling, I've seen, has improved tremendously. Terry Blackwell, pretty decent wrestler, but a very, very solid ground game. However, you got to hold Torrence down there to do that. So it'll be interesting to see if Terry puts him on the ground and tests his jiu-jitsu.
One of the things, guys, that I noticed about Terry Blackwell, no matter what Torrence is throwing at him, he's just unfazed. Definitely not, shocked by a spinning back fist, side kick. I mean, you see that stuff in Taekwondo tournaments, very rare in the cage. And Terry Blackwell's just simply unfazed.
Yeah, I mean, Terry's a veteran. Like I said, Terry gave me my start when I first graduated college, started getting into mixed martial arts. He and the Skater Fight team took me in and got my amateur career started. I mean, I'm always grateful and appreciative of him. He's a guy I really look up to and enjoy watching fight. And he's been around. He's a veteran, man. He has 2 children. He's got a full-time job and runs a school. He hasn't been as active as I think he'd like to. Also, has torn his biceps in the past, so he hasn't been as busy as he'd like to. But a very game guy.
He's very outstanding on his feet right now. I like how he's been moving forward towards Taylor and still throwing bombs and ducking and blocking. So he looks like he's in great shape as well.
Yeah, you could tell that Torrence is a very thick 155. Terry has talked to Zach Sutek ahead of time, said he best shape of his life. Said came in, had the lowest amount of weight he's ever had to cut, and he came in at 153 yesterday, so very lean.
Yeah, Terry's a guy who I don't remember his original weight, but he was well over 200 pounds at one point, and really transformed his body, coming down to fight 170 and then eventually 155.
Yeah, you can tell how big Torrence Taylor is, and as long as I've been watching him, he's always been a big fighter, very big fighter.
Torrence did a nice job of mixing it up. I think some of these strikes will come better to him once again as he talks over if he let his hands go a little bit and then went to the kicks.
Yeah, I really like to see how as the rounds go on, what his game plan is, because right now with him mixing it up, it looks like he's opening up a lot of angles and a lot of just spots where he can pick this guy apart.
Crazy exchange right there. Right now we got some storms rolling in. I think the lightning's playing a little bit of havoc with the system here, but we'll get it all straightened out. Our crew here is coming around and we will be good. There's a head kick from Torrence.
Bit of a cat and mouse game for both of them, filling each other out.
And with it may be a little bit slower start than we'd like to see, but they got 5 rounds.
Yes.
No reason to.
You need to pace yourself, have a good game plan. A lot of guys, when they fight 5-round fights, they want to get in, they want to bang, and they want to put on the best fight they want. Everyone wants that. But a lot of these guys get in here and they get blown out in the first 2 rounds because, you know, they want to get in, get it finished, and, you know, they forget that they have 3 more rounds after those first 2. So, like I said, it would be really good to see what these guys' game plan is, you know, further into the fight.
Yeah, I mean, you were an excellent example of that when you fought Jason Dent. You know, you guys would be trading on the feet. You'd take him down, put him up against the cage. You know, you knew this is 5 rounds. I can grind this out. I don't have to go out there, proverbially, you know, just gas myself in round 1.
Yeah, when I fought Jason Dent, I used the game plan because I knew he knew how I fought. And, you know, when you watch these guys and you bring a different game plan each time you fight, it's always, you know.
It's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I know Torrence has very much embraced the strong styles training conditioning program, but Terry Blackwell has made himself a cardio freak. You don't get down from being over 200 plus pounds to 155 without putting in your time.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see who's able to stay functional and stay proficient as the rounds go. I won't be surprised if Terry, you know, he started out playing a little bit possum and counterfighting a little bit more, maybe to wear Terrence out to go into those deep rounds. That could be a strategy.
And I'm wondering if we're going to see Terry try to take Torrence down, just to mix it up. Why not?
If he's going to go for the takedown, I like to stick that in a little bit earlier in the fight when I'm a little bit fresher, you know what I mean, and we're less slippery.
Yeah, I definitely like the takedowns to come, you know, when they're unexpected in the first round and second round, when we're not as sweaty and, you know, the guy's trying to walk in towards punches. And I think that'll be a great thing for either one of these fighters.
Well, Torrence has been in 5-round fights before. This is going to be Terry's first. So if we do get to rounds 4 and 5, the proverbial championship rounds, that's going to be something interesting to keep an eye on.
Terry catching and countering a lot of Torrence's strikes, but coming back with usually the right hand, sometimes the right left. Although Torrence is a very dangerous striker, I think it's going to be a lot of the same once Terry changes his game up and starts pushing forward and taking some chances.
I think so as well. You know, Blackwell's swinging hard and he's actually connecting sometimes, but Torrence as well is doing the same. As he's coming in and out, you're seeing his hands drop a little. So I'm hoping that you know, one of these guys catch onto it and either capitalize on it and get the knockout, or capitalize on it and get the blocking.
And there we just saw it, a crazy axe kick. Yes. Torrence threw that just a few seconds ago.
Nice inside by Torrence.
Yeah, Torrence has really done a nice job with those inside leg kicks all fight long.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pace is very good, especially for a 5-round fight.
Yes.
You know, they're treating it like a fast-paced sparring session, in my opinion.
It's a very good pace for a 5-round fight. It's not too slow. It's not, you know, all high speed, but it's definitely going. It has your good moments and, you know.
Nice leg kick there by Blackwell.
Very nice.
And that's where you can see the professionalism. And he comes in double jab, right hand, distracts Torrence up high, then throws that leg kick low.
And that's one thing you see. Sometimes when a guy's a really good kicker, they're not used to getting kicked back, per se.
Very, exactly. Some guys can dish out the leg kicks, but they're not very good at taking the punishment to their own thighs and shins.
With Torrence's speed and his snap, if I'm Terry Blackwell, I want to keep chopping at those legs and maybe slow him down here in the later rounds.
Exactly. Nice head kick by Torrence Taylor.
Terry eats it, though.
A little blood dropping out of Blackwell's nose there.
Yeah, I didn't see it really cause it. Torrence's jab's been pretty active.
I like how Torrence Taylor is keeping Blackwell's back against the fence. I tell people all the time, you know, people ask, you know, when guys are running, you know, what do? You cut them off, just like he's been doing all fight. You cut them off and keep their back against the cage.
Looks like that one came in a little low. They touched gloves. Terry says, I'm fine. Yeah, and Dan, that's a great point. That Torrens is pushing the pace. You know, they say in the UFC, octagon control, and he is definitely has that.
Nice little flurry there by Taylor. Not a ton landing, but nice shot. Good answer right by Blackwell. That inside, that right leg kick. Excuse me.
About 30 seconds left in the round.
I would like to see Blackwell, you know, push it a little bit more.
Another head kick.
So he's gonna have to keep those hands. That's the second high kick that's landed and smacked near her.
Torrens dropping down for the double leg.
Torrens Taylor's ground game has grown. In practice, I've seen him take down a former common opponent of yours, and Joe Highland is a Division III wrestler from Baldwin Wallace and former coach there. And I've seen Torrens be able to take him down in practice.
Impressive. I couldn't even take Joe Highland down at all.
But I thought that was real smart by Torrens there at the end. Not only does he send Terry a message that, hey, I'm willing to put this fight on the ground, but although I think that probably was his round,
yes.
If there's any question at all in the judge's mind, you just solidified that you got a 10-9 round.
Definitely. You know, I like ending the rounds on top. Like you said, it always shows the judge. You know, you're showing dominance over your fighter. So yeah, I think it was a smart move and good strategy.
All right, so Dan, so not only are you a fighter, but you also do some cornering. If you're Terry Blackwell's corner man, what are you saying?
I tell Terry he needs to keep his hands up for one. He needs to start hitting his angles and throwing his hands a lot more. And I think he needs to push the pace a little bit more. I think he needs to put his jab in Torrens' face and start backing Torrens up and get Torrens on the fence.
There's no question that Terry Blackwell's got knockout power. When he fought Antonio Castillo Jr., he threw a wicked right hand that put Castillo out cold, so much so that Castillo went to train with Blackwell.
Yes.
If you can't beat him, join him.
Torrens really started to unleash towards the end of round 2. A couple different athletic and acrobatic kicks. Bear down on his punches a little bit more.
You can definitely see Torrens Taylor's confidence come out as the rounds go on. You know, like you said, he's opening up a lot more. Those jabs is getting through. His kicks are looking good.
Good body shots by Blackwell.
Good job. I don't know how David did, but he's doing a good job going to the body with his punches.
Nice leg kick.
Nice Superman jab to right rear leg kick. Back at it. Torrens starting to find his rhythm a little bit.
You're starting to see Blackwell slow down in his pace. His hands are starting to drop a little, and it looks like Torrens Taylor is picking up on that as well.
Yeah, he's had a few grazing high kicks land earlier on Blackwell's face. I got to think of Torrens doing this low work. He's going to want to come back upstairs a little bit later.
Nice body by Torrens.
Two body shots by Torrens.
I like how he's mixing it up. Love how he's mixing it up. You know, the axe kick just came again. He's going to the body. He's coming upstairs. You know, he's faking the shots, faking kicks, then coming back with jabs. You know, he looks really nice tonight.
Yeah, he's pushing the pace and leaving Blackwell to be relegated to countering for the most part. He's not really letting Terry take the lead at all. He's letting Blackwell just continue to have to counter and not push forward like he did in the first round.
And we know Torrens can take punishment. When him and Dent went 5 rounds and it was mainly a kickboxing show, he said afterwards for days he was urinating blood. So he knew he absorbed some punishment there. So about halfway through this 3rd round, let me ask you guys this. Maybe it's just my weight class, us skinny guys, smaller thighs, skinnier shins. Would you rather take a decent jab to the face or a leg kick?
I'll take a jab all day.
I'm with you. I'll even take a good cross.
I'll take a jab all day.
There's no chin in your thigh, you know, to be able to tuck. You're going to take that right on the muscle.
It's one of the things I've said. I think every judge, not because I don't like them, but every judge should have to take about a 50% leg kick just to realize what they're effective.
Very effective.
I mean, heck, Pat Barry finished a fight with leg kicks.
Anthony Hardon, I believe, back in the day, finished one.
Anthony Hardon was a K1 level guy. Terry Blackwell, for the first time, feints a shot.
Blackwell jabbing, missing. He still looks good though to me. You know, even though the fight's gone on, his you know, the speed's gone down a little bit. You know, Blackwell still looks good to me. You know, I don't think he's winning the fight right now, but I still see him as being in the fight.
Yeah, he's not taking damage. He's just being just not controlling the pace and letting him get off a little, letting Torrence get off first.
And Blackwell's mouthpiece
Torrence has
came
been
out.
pulling at his glove consistently. I don't know if he jammed a finger. Torrence likes that open left hand blocking style. He's been pulling and tugging at that finger. I don't know if he jammed it, maybe something like that. I'm not sure. I can't tell.
Well, speaking of Pat Barry, you guys will get a kick out of this. So I went up to Rufus Sport with Jason Dent when he was getting ready to fight Cameron Dollar in the UFC at the end of the Ultimate Fighter show. And I didn't have a partner that first day to work with, and we were doing boxing for MMA. And the guy came in a little late, and Duke Rufus says, okay, you can work with him. I turn around, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Pat Barry, UFC heavyweight, and John Sturmack, amateur bantamweight. Yeah, that's just terrific.
Right.
There's weight classes for a reason.
When
Nice
we were doing a Perry 2, he may have hit me 10%. I wanted to cry.
When you get a guy with powerful legs, man, it's one thing.
Superman punch again.
I really like how Torrence Taylor is cutting these angles. I think the main thing that right now, the big key in this fight is, you know, Torrence Taylor has Blackwell worried about these kicks. So you see him feinting these kicks a lot, and he doesn't see the jab coming right behind it. So he's picking them apart on the feet. And once he starts figuring out the jab, he's going back down to the legs. So it's excellent game plan by Torrence Taylor.
Yeah, you see him jabbing that, moving that right hip in and out, just to let him know this kick could be coming any second. And then, like you said, he's either throwing a jab or two.
Nice body by Blackwell.
Blackwell's had some nice counters. Always comes one piece, two piece, never a third strike thus far. And I get it. You don't want to get into a big, long exchanging battle with a guy like Torrence Taylor, but he's got to do a little bit more to put it together to kind of change this tide for himself. Otherwise, Torrence is going to stay on an autopilot, striking from the outside and doing what he wants.
And we saw this with when Terry fought Frank Carabello. You know, hanging tough in there, refuses to back down. But if you're losing the striking battle, maybe you got to change strategies a little bit.
Yeah, he feinted one attempt last round, got a hold of a single leg, didn't finish it, more of a reactionary shot. But I'd be interested to see how this fight goes to the ground either way. Ooh, another. Actually, he's put that thing up 3 or 4 times.
Nice elbow by Torrence Taylor.
Another elbow. It's a third elbow in a row. Was it his right hand he was playing with?
Yes.
I believe so.
I wonder if he may have broken it. And now he's having to resort to having to throw only elbows with the right.
Looks like he opened him up. It looks like Torrence Taylor opened up Blackwell with an elbow.
Top left of the above the forehead.
I think that's something we got to pay attention to is Torrence throwing that right hand. Because that may be a little bit more than a jammed finger.
Good defense by Torrence Taylor. I like how he puts his leg back to the mat.
And a slippery and strong Torrence Taylor.
It's going to be very hard to try to take him down.
think you're going to need it. At this late in the fight, you need to score a blast double, a good trip or sweep or something abrupt rather than a technical takedown, I think, when guys are this wet this late in the fight.
Definitely. Right now, I really think he needs to, keep Torrence on the fence right here and get this takedown. He really needs to work for a takedown and start working on something. Because right now, standing on the feet is not going to get him this win.
Short elbows by Torrence off the cage.
Torrence working some short elbows, trying to get himself off the fence. Blackwell seems like they're slightly bothering him, but not relinquishing that position.
Looks like those elbows are starting to count up. I think that's about the eighth, ninth. Oh,
yeah,
nice knee.
Blackwell was in trouble.
Nice.
I think those elbows in the clinch rocked Blackwell.
Yeah.
And he went in and out.
I agree with you, because it seemed like Blackwell was not holding him as tight anymore, and he had space there, and Torrence was able to tee off. I wonder if he maybe one of those out on his feet, if not dazed.
After the elbows, Torrence Taylor hit him with the knee that dropped him, and that started the beginning of the end of the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jerry Poe has seen us enough and has stopped this fight at 4 minutes and 27 seconds of round number 4. Officially a TKO due to strikes. Your winner and new NAAFS Professional Series Interim Lightweight World Champion, Torrence the Tyrant Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here with your winner, Torrence the Tyrant Taylor. Beautiful fight, my man. Looked like you controlled the pace the entire round. First things first, looked like something happened to your hand. Are you all right?
My hand's okay. It's just, I don't know. I mean, we'll see after the fight. Well, it is after the fight. We'll see after a few minutes when the adrenaline wears off. I think it's okay, though.
Well, you look great, my man. As advertised, we knew you'd come in here with crazy axe kicks, turning back kicks, but it was those elbows that did all the damage, followed by a big knee. Let's talk about this fight.
Yeah, it was Terry Blackwell's a great opponent. He was a great challenge. It was hard work getting ready for this fight. I had dreams about losing to the guy a couple times, and then closer to the fight, I dreamt about winning. So, I just go with my omens, and I train hard, and that's how I do it. I'd like to thank everybody who helped me get ready for this fight. Strong Style Fight Team, Marcus Marinelli, Pablo Castro. I also like to thank my roots, Rising Dragon, with Alonzo Harvey, to my brother Tawan Howard, everybody from there, Mr. Tony DePiro. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Intimidation Clothing, Ganley Ford, I think they're in the building. Ganley Ford's in the building. And, if I'm forgetting some people, after party at McCarthy's, come join me, get some shots, let's have some drinks, get some fat, greasy food. That's Tank right there. He's about to beat up on, another opponent like he always does. He told me to talk some crap for him. He's about to fight Antonio Castro, so that's my boy over there. So.
Well, I always like to ask you what's next, but Daniel Strauss holds the lightweight title. He was on commentary with us tonight. He said he's been a fan of yours for a long time. I don't know when we're going to be able to make it happen, but how do you feel about going up against Daniel Strauss?
I love the NAAFS, but you know my goal is to be in the UFC, you know. And Daniel Strauss is doing big things in Bellator. You know, he's a 45er, I'm a 55er. I don't see a reason for me to fight him or for him to fight me, you know. So, I mean, if the fight happened, you know, I'm a fighter. I'll take fights. You know, I'd fight Brock Lesnar if they put him in against me. But, I mean, as of right now, that doesn't seem like a reasonable matchup.
Well, I tell you what, for my money, for Brian Rogers' money, the greatest fight we've had in NAAFS history was you versus Jason Dent. What would you think about that one?
Oh, Jason Dent, man, he's an animal, man. Nothing but respect for him. Just like I had nothing but respect for I got hit in the head too many times. Terry Blackwell. Nothing but respect for him too. So, you know, I mean, if it happens, it happens. But again, you know, my goals are UFC. I want that belt. You know, now I got one belt, now I want that one. I know it's going to be a long road, but I'd like to thank Greg Feligas for having me on this show. I'd like to thank NAAFS, everybody who works for those guys. I'd like to thank you, too, for interviewing me.
Well, you did a great job, my man. You wouldn't let me bait you into any questions. So, congratulations. Give it up for your winner, Torrance the Tiger.